Welcome. You're listening to Behind the Home Build, a podcast dedicated to all things home building. Whether you're a home builder, home buyer, or something in between, we're here to connect you with the industry experts. My name is Danny Langerman, CEO and mortgage loan originator. With me is my son Riley Langerman, mortgage loan originator. Thanks for joining our podcast today, Behind the Home Build. Today we've got Kelly Prince with us from Zavvie. Thanks for joining us today. So Kelly, for nearly 15 years, she's called Colorado her home. She enjoys the downtown life and the convenience it offers. She's passionate about the real estate industry, takes great joy in helping people buy their dream homes. So she's also an accomplished account manager with Zavvie, bringing extensive power buyer and real estate experience to her role. She has a deep understanding of market dynamics and a keen ability to navigate the complexities of home buying, which she has honed over the years. So, Kelly, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, what other interests do you have outside of work?
I mean, probably the standard things that people say. Traveling. I'm not really a mountain person, which I know is weird. Living in Colorado, I don't really hike or ski. So I'm more of a warm weather beach person.
Interesting. Where did you come from?
I moved here from Florida, but I'm originally from Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So after high school, I went to Florida for a couple years and then moved out here.
Oh, gotcha. So we've actually a family their cousins just graduated from Ohio State.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And I'm from Wisconsin originally.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm a Badger.
Nice.
Yep.
Never been to Wisconsin.
Oh, really? Just like Ohio.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The weather, everything else. There is nothing different.
Yeah, maybe a little colder.
Yes. Yep.
Can you just, for my sake, maybe our sake, give us some background on the company you work for and what you do and just your kind of industry background?
Yeah. So I've worked for Zavvie for a couple months now, but I've been in the power buying business for a couple years. I've actually been in real estate for a lot of years in multiple different things. I've worked in title. I've worked in corporate relocation. I've worked for an actual real estate brokerage before. So yeah, I've been in the real estate business for a long time. I love the fact that Zavvie just helps leveling the playing field by making it possible for first-time home buyers, or I guess any buyer, to be able to compete with an actual cash offer.
Gotcha. All right, that's great. And as far as how you like working at Zavvie so far?
I love it. It's great. They're, a small company, but great people. It's after 2020, so we're all pretty much remote, so we're all over the place.
But you guys are based out of Denver?
We have an office technically up in Boulder.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the owners are based here in Colorado.
Right on.
Zavvie, as you'll find out, is a great product, in my opinion, that incorporates builders, incorporates lenders, realtors, and actually even the general public for the most part. So, Kelly, give us a good example or give us kind of a description of what Zavvie is and what you guys do.
So we partner with lenders so that you are able to give your clients, buyers, I guess, access to offering cash, non-contingent offers on the home of their choice.
Yeah, which is perfect. So non-contingent, so explain to everyone kind of what a contingent versus a non-contingent, and when it's incorporated into a contract, actually what it means to the seller and what the risks are.
It's obviously a lot more attractive to the seller. It's a full cash offer, not contingent on the borrower obtaining financing or contingent on selling their departure home if that's the case.
So on a basic level, it's you guys buying the current mortgage of their house while they're looking and buying another house, a new builder house, correct? And can you just get a little more basic for people who might not be in the industry or don't understand?
So we go ahead and we purchase the new home that they're looking at cash, full cash, non-contingent offer, and they can go ahead and move in as soon as we purchase the home. And then at that point, they can list their departure home if they have one and sell that, get it staged, do all of that to get the top dollar out of their departure home. And then after that home sells, they turn around and they buy the new home back from us.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So one of the great things is so Riley just passed his MLO, and so in my opinion, this is actually a tool that new loan originators, if they have in their back pocket, it's a great tool to go to and talk to realtors about. It's a great tool to go and talk to builders about.
Yes.
Because what this does is this actually eliminates, like you were saying, especially for builders. The one things builders don't want to do is sit on a property to where there's possibly a contingency that really that falls through, right? So if they have a contract, it's got a contingency that their buyer is going to sell their house, and for some reason it doesn't sell. Now they've got to go and relist that property.
Yep.
And same with realtors, relist it, put it back on the market. So that's extra time, that's extra money. So this is a way, and again, this is a product what I call is a contingency buster. And so, it's a fantastic way to get around that contingency, and a great tool to offer to buyers, realtors, mortgage loan originators, and the general public, altogether.
Yeah. Clients will actually get pre-approved with you, their lender, just as they normally would. Once they're pre-approved, we take your guys' information that you have collected from them and see that they are a qualified buyer. And that's kind of how we approve them on our end. And at that point, that's when we'll buy the home cash for them, because we feel comfortable and we trust you guys that they are going to be able to repurchase this home once they sell their other home.
Right.
Very cool.
So they come to the lender, and what they do is they get pre-approved, and they go through the entire process, and the lender then shows you that pre-approval, shows Zavvie that they have been pre-approved in this process. And then once that is done and you purchase the home, then they come back in and they purchase, you sell it right back to them.
Correct.
Yep. And now Zavvie is considered a power buyer, which a lot of people probably in this industry really don't understand what that terminology is. Can you explain to us what a power buyer is?
Yeah, of course. Power buyers are companies that actually just offer cash solutions to help buyers be more competitive and non-contingent, like we just talked about. My company specifically, Zavvie, we offer, so we provide the capital, the personnel, the processes, and the technology to make all of this happen.
Now, are you partnered with lenders, realtors, consumers?
So we partner with lenders.
Okay, just lenders.
Majority.
Okay.
We have a few real estate clients that had signed up previously, but our target market is to partner with lenders.
Okay.
All right. So lenders out there that don't have this type of product, obviously it becomes an important piece. Now, how is it different? So how is your product different than a bridge loan, for example?
So a bridge loan, obviously, it works a lot differently. Bridge loans can be very pricey. I think the longer that you need to borrow against the bridge loan, the more expensive it gets. Our product is different since we're not really giving you a loan for the money. We're letting you borrow it pretty much. So ideally, they sell their home and purchase the home back from us very quickly, and it becomes a lot less expensive compared to a bridge loan.
Right. Gotcha.
Can you go over the typical timelines of a Zavvie transaction? I know you have multiple different cash buy options, right? Can you kind of break those down and maybe go over the timeline?
Yeah, for sure. So we offer 6 different options pretty much. We have programs that we call cash by reserve, cash by signature, and cash by flex. Reserve is where we actually go in and purchase the home ourselves, and then the client buys it back from us. They can do this. It can be a first-time home buyer, so it can work for clients who don't have a home to sell as well, if they just need a non-contingent offer to be competitive in a market. We So yeah, we can do reserve for if they have a home to sell or if they don't have a home to sell. And then we have our signature program, which works a little bit differently. For signature, they actually write the offer in their own name, and we give them a short-term loan so that they can actually close with cash. So in that scenario, it works kind of the same way, but whenever they're able to buy back the property from us, you as their lender would do a rate term refinance and pay off the short-term loan that we gave them.
The short-term loan is for the full purchase price, though?
Correct. Well, it's up to
Or-
95% of the
Okay.
value.
Okay.
So, and then our cash buy flex program is a cash back offer. So it's an offer in their name, and we actually just provide an addendum saying that if for any reason they're not able to purchase this home as specified in this contract, we will step in and pay cash for the property on the specified closing date.
Very cool.
Yeah.
As far as the cash buy solutions go, and I know this is going to, obviously affect or be directed towards realtors or even lenders as well, but in particular, let's stick with the builders piece of it. Tell us more about how a program like yours can actually benefit builders within the Denver and the Colorado area.
Yeah. I mean, obviously builders love non-contingent offers. It's a way better offer than a contingent offer. So since we're removing the home sale contingency and financing contingencies by leveraging our capital up front, the deal can close faster and they can get that home off their hands quicker. Our clients are not only mortgage approved already through their lender, but also vetted through our proprietary risk assessment tool. So they're super qualified, which is always a good sign too.
Right. They're qualifying based off of one home versus two homes.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying too, which I think is a huge emphasis is you are paying, this is a cash type of offer.
Yes.
So as the market changes, obviously, as rates start to go down and more people start to flood the market, you're going to need a bigger advantage, and your program is something that consumers can use, lenders can use.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say like back in 2021 when the market was crazy, I mean, there was 10, 15, 20 cash offers on houses
Yeah,
even.
one house, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we definitely help make it easier for clients to compete in markets like that.
Even during a market that's a little bit slower, it's still a big advantage to have the cash offer as a seller?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any real estate agent that you talk to, they're going to tell their sellers that, or their clients, the sellers that, I mean, a non-contingent cash offer is way better than a contingent offer.
Undoubtedly.
So you can typically save a lot of money and then obviously spend way less time. I know there's people out there that look at houses every single weekend and miss opportunities because they're submitting contingent offers and they don't get accepted. So using our program, they're able to get their offer accepted quicker and move forward quicker.
It's just another way to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any other benefits that it has for the clients?
They only need to qualify for the one loan secured against the new home, so they don't need to qualify for both of the payments. They get peace of mind by securing their dream home with cash without needing to sell their current home first. That's really convenient whenever it is a hot market too, because people don't want to list their home without having a new home to move into. Like, what if it sells too fast and then they don't have anywhere to go? So that's always a great thing. And then for that, they can move into their new home as soon as we close on the property. So it's super smooth transition for them. They still work with their listing agent to sell their departure home as they normally would. So we don't require them to use a certain agent or anything like that.
So you brought something up that I thought would be interesting to hear too. So if a realtor, for example, is purchasing a new build, how does it work for that realtor? How does that realtor get paid?
They get paid on the cash transaction.
So right up front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what happens when the buyer sells their current residence?
Yep, that would work the same way. So they would be listing that house for them, and they would make their commission the same way that they normally would.
When their buyer then goes to buy it back from Zavvie. So they're not going to make two commissions off of that one transaction.
Yeah, that's correct. They would not.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And then can you walk us through, I think it'd be great, walk us through a new construction deal with Zavvie and the builders and what exactly that would look like.
So the client would get pre-approved through their lender, through you. They would get pre-funded through us to offer cash on the new build. We would provide, once they picked out the home that they want to put an offer on, we would provide an offer guide to the agent so that they understand how to write the offer. And then once that is approved, we provide the proof of funds for them to submit to the builder with the offer. Their offer is then accepted, and we require a deposit from the buyer, and either we or the buyer will pay the earnest money. We'll close with cash in as early as 14 days. The client gets the keys and gets to move in. And then at that time, they have 14 days to list their departure home if they have a home to list. And then as soon as they're able to, they buy the new home back from us. So it's a very seamless process.
You said 14 days you can close?
Yes, we can close in 14 days.
So, and the other obviously important question too would be is what are the costs to the buyer or to the borrower on a program like this?
So for the cash buy before sell, both the reserve and signature products are 1.9%. If they don't have a home to sell and it's just a cash offer, it's 1%. And that percentage is based off the new purchase price. So the new home that they're buying.
That's great. It's cheaper than what a bridge loan would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I'm not obviously super familiar with bridge loans, but I know there's normally fees up front and then really high interest. So
Right.
Yeah, Dad, I'm sure you are pretty in tune. You want to kind of explain the difference in terms of, you're talking about how much it costs, it takes longer.
The one thing I can say about bridge loans is that first off, they're not easy to come by. There's not a lot of banks out there will actually offer them right now just because it's more of a risk for them because now all of a sudden there's carrying two properties, and if a borrower gets in any financial issues or any financial distress situation, typically they're going to choose to, carry or move into the new house than they will the old one. So there's a lot more risk to a bank when it comes to a bridge loan. There's not. I don't know. I know of one bank that possibly offers it. I don't know of too many though. I don't know if you do either.
yeah, I honestly, the loan officers that I talk to, all of them seem to not want to deal with bridge loans.
Right.
So that's really the feedback that I get.
Right.
I think it's just a lot more difficult. They're not easy to come by, and they're not an easy process either.
Right.
Do you ever have any consumers that go to lenders saying, I want to use your product?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they kind of bring them to that lender, essentially
Yes.
bring you guys to that lender?
Mhm.
Okay. Does that happen more often, or does the lender get their applicant and they say, okay, well, we have this, do you want to use this?
So typically, it kind of depends. I've had consumers reach out directly to me, and is what I do in that circumstance is I actually put them in touch with one of our partner lenders. And then I guess in the other case, they would just reach out to the lender themselves and kind of go through that because once we're partnered with you, like we can't just work with a regular lender that's not
Yeah,
partnered with
yeah.
us. So they would need to become a partner in order to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that makes sense. And then so this program has been around for how long?
I think they've been offering it for about 3 years now.
Okay, so for the most part, it's still pretty new
Mm-hmm.
because I've offered it a couple of times with realtors, and I've put it out there with builders and stuff that we work with, and yeah, a lot of them they haven't heard of it before,
Yeah.
and so it's definitely a new type of product. It's a great product.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I got into the power buying business in 2021, and I would say that's when it really started to become popular.
There's a need to stand out.
Yeah.
So what's the process? So if you're a lender and they want to get signed up with you, let's start with that first, because there's going to be a lot of lenders out there, I'm assuming, that are going to be like, wait a second, we could use this in our tool belt. How do lenders get signed up?
They could just go onto our website and submit an inquiry, and then we'll reach out to them and see what kind of options they have.
Maybe go through the process too, as far as like a client wanting to use this type of product. What is their process?
So I always suggest with the loan officers that I actually work with to submit all of their clients that they're working with to the program. This is something that you can offer anyone. You don't know when they're going to need it or if they're going to need it, but there's no harm in getting them pre-funded so that they are able to offer a cash non-contingent offer. We have a portal that's super user-friendly, really easy to use. You just upload their pre-approval AUSDU findings, and we kind of look through that just to make sure that they seem qualified. And at that point, they're pretty much ready to go. And once they find a house, they may not need to offer cash, or they may not need to be non-contingent. Maybe their departure home already sold or something along those lines, but they're there and we have them ready to go if they do need to. And the process for that, once they're already pre-funded, is super quick. We do need to get every offer approved by our approval committee, but that typically takes less than an hour. So on any given day, we're available 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and we can get transactions done very quickly.
What are the states that you're licensed in?
All 50 states.
Oh, you're in all 50.
Mhm.
Well, that's good to know. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
If they choose not to go with the option that you guys provide them, they choose to, they don't need it or whatever, is there any cost at all?
No.
Okay.
So once they do submit an offer to us for approval, at that time, that's when I would send out the client agreement, and that's when we would submit the cash offer. Once they go under contract, that's kind of when they're locked in with us. And if they do want to terminate or something during termination period, inspection period, anything like that, and we get back our deposit, then they get back their deposit. It's not, we're not going to keep anything or anything like that. So
Cool.
it's pretty much no obligation until they're under contract by using the program.
Okay. Very cool. Good to know.
It's definitely a very unique type of product
Yes.
that you guys have. And I would imagine you're getting lenders signing up with you pretty much every day.
Yeah, definitely. It's just something that you guys have that you can offer your clients that not everyone can.
Okay. Well, very cool.
All right. Well, and if people needed to get a hold of you, especially lenders, because lenders is your key market, how can they contact you?
So they can go to our website, which is just Zavvie.com. They can submit a form there, and our sales team will get back with them.
Okay. And because you're here in Colorado, will you be the one contacting them, or will it just be in general?
Just in general, we have a sales team that will probably reach out first. I'm just an account manager, so typically once they're signed up is when they would be assigned to an account manager.
Understood. Okay. And it's typically lenders that sign up with you.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Home Build. It's a podcast for all things home building. He's Danny, and I'm Riley. And if you're interested in learning more from experts in the home building community, we're on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and a few others, all at Behind the Home Build Podcast. And if you have any questions at all, make sure to send them our way on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook at Behind the Home Build Podcast.